أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام علينا أرسل المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آل محمد أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sorry that I wasn't able to attend last couple of Halaqa, but Alhamdulillah, proud to see that the team is so active and everybody, mashallah, continue doing it, and I'm so happy for it. Our Imam Muhammad Chebli is not here yet, but today, inshallah, I will give the microphone to Brother Anwar, that he's going to be, inshallah, talking on a specific topics. Go ahead, Brother Anwar.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters in Islam. I have prepared something called Prophets in Islam. We know that mostly 124,000 prophets there and name. People say only 25, most of the popular name, but I found some other name in Quran besides 25. So I have listed that and the name, and I refer to surah and ayat and approximate time, because times I don't know how they calculate. Mostly it was calculated in Bibles, some the years, some they calculate BCs, before Common Era or before birth of Christ, or sometimes they call Common Era is after the death of Christ. That's what the years are. So, you know, everybody knows that Adam alayhi salam was the first prophet. And it was mentioned in Quran, several places. I referred Surah number 2 from 30 to 39, Surah 7, 11, 25, Surah 15, 11 to 11, 25, 15 again, 26 to 44, and then approximate time, all are approximate, times are all approximate. Is 950 years to 100 years. Oh, he survived 950 years to 1,000 years. And then this is some people think his third generations, Shish alayhi salam, son of Adam, his third son of Adam actually, born when Adam was 130 years old. And he lived 912 years, he survived. And his name not mentioned in Quran, but Hadith says before death of Adam alayhi salam, Adam alayhi salam gave him the responsibility to Shish alayhi salam to guide people. So that means he is a prophet. Then third prophet in my category is Idris alayhi salam, is also named as Enoch. He's a son of Yadrid. He's in lineage of Shish alayhi salam. And his name is mentioned Surah 19, 56 to 57, and then Surah 21, 85 to 86. And he approximately 100 years after the death of Adam alayhi salam. He's the sixth generation of Adam alayhi salam. So Idris, there is a myth that he's still alive in heaven, and the myth is actually came from my mom. I wrote in the footnote that all the means, whatever I mentioned, will be coming from my mom. My mom is my first teacher. So she used to teach us all these things. So, and he was the one who first person to write with a pen. So Idris alayhi salam had a pen, not pen of like this, but pen maybe something of wooden or something. We have a bamboo stick before, like when we were a child, we used to bamboo dip in a ink, that. So that kind of pen maybe have it, but I found this note that he was the first one to use a pen, Idris alayhi salam. And then after Idris alayhi salam, there is a gap, and then we found the Noah alayhi salam. Noah alayhi salam is a son of Lamarck, and he is in lineage of Idris alayhi salam. And Noah alayhi salam in Surah 71, 7 and 10, ayat, and then 7, 10, 11, 23, 26, 29, 37, 54, all this so many times in 71. 71 is in his name, Surah name after him, no. And his time was 3900 BC to 2950 BC. And he lived 950 years, or somebody say 1050 years, because sometime it mentioned that he 950 years he did the preaching, but before his preaching, and after the know the ark. So when settled, he was still alive for 100 more years. So his name is mentioned in Quran 43 times. Then comes Hud alayhi salam. Hud was sent to community called Ad, Ad and Samud, like this. So Hud alayhi salam was a prophet for a community named Ad. And Hud alayhi salam, in his name, there is a surah called Hud, 11, and ayat 50 to 60, and then surah 7, 65, 70, his name is mentioned. And his time was approximately 2400 BC. And then after Hud came Saleh. Saleh alayhi salam came for Samud, they call Tamud, people community. And his name mentioned in Quran in Surah 7, 73 to 79, then Surah 11, 61 to 68, then Surah 26, 141 to 159, then Surah 27, 45 to 53, his name mentioned. And his time was 2000 BC to 1900 BC. And the story about Salih alayhi salam, he was sent with a she camel. I think the color was yellow camel, and came from the hill. And the people used to share the water. Water was the crisis there. So people used to share. One day, camel will drink the water, and next day, the community will take the water. But the people, promise to Salih alayhi salam that they will take care of the camel. But they, one time, they were mad on that, and they killed the camel. And then Samud was all destroyed. The Samud story. And is all, I think, is in now called Iraq, that area. The Samud people are there. Then came Ibrahim alayhi salam. Ibrahim alayhi salam, everybody knows that Ibrahim alayhi salam is the father for all nations. And there is a surah named Ibrahim. And his name mentioned 69 times appeared in Quran. And his time was 2000 BC, or around 1737 BC. And here, Ibrahim alayhi salam was the one who conversed with Allah through Jibreel alayhi salam. And he was the founder of Kaaba, and he's the father of Ismail and Isaac. And from Ismail alayhi salam, the Muslims whom follow Muhammad came. And from Isaac alayhi salam, all the other prophets came, and most of them are in Judaism or Jews. Now, Jewish people claim Ibrahim is the father, but in Quran it says Ibrahim is not the father of Jews or any other thing. Ibrahim is father for Islam, and he declared Muslim is his nation. Then Lut alayhi salam. Lut alayhi salam was the nephew of Ibrahim alayhi salam, came on the same time, and his name mentioned in Surah 6, 82 to 88. And his time was almost same time, 1861 to 1687 BC. And you know the very popular story about Sodom and Gomorrah, the man-to-man sexual habit. Still world having this thing. And then some country they have right. In India, even they have the right to do that. And Bangladesh before they claim, but was not accepted. So that was the story of the Lut. And then Ismail alayhi salam. So Ibrahim alayhi salam's another son, Ismail alayhi salam, and his mother was Hajira. And Ismail alayhi salam name came in Surah 2, Baqarah 127, and then Surah 6, 82 to 88 ayat. And his time was 1900 BC. And he is also co-founder of Kaaba. And we know that he is a forefather of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. From him, we don't see any other prophet came with so many gaps. Only we found only Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, only one prophet came, but he's the last prophet, and he's the he's the last or seal of the prophets. And we'll go to Muhammad sallallahu later. Then we're talking about Ishaq, another son of Ibrahim alayhi salam. And Ibrahim alayhi salam when was 100 years old, and Sarah was 90 years old. At this old age, they got Ishaq alayhi salam, and is mentioned in Baqarah 127 ayat, and also mentioned mentioned Surah 6, 82, 88 ayat. So Surah 6 has most of the prophets' names here. And Ishaq alayhi salam name mentioned in Quran 17 times. And his also time 1900 BC to 19 BC, and he lived 188 years. And so they claim that some other faith religion, they claim that Ishaq was the oldest son, but I found in that the Ishaq actually born 14 years after Ismail as a half brother. And from Ishaq we see all the prophets came. Then Ishaq's son was Yaqub. Yaqub other name is Israel. And from Israel, and his son, he has a 12 son. He has 4 wives, I think 4 wives. At that time, he married 2 sisters. One the mother of Yusuf alayhi salam, and the mother of Benjamin. They are 2 sisters. So that time, sisters were allowed married, but later is banned that you cannot marry the sister. So they on the life, but at that time it's allowed. So he has allowed those 2 sisters' wife, Yaqub alayhi salam. So his name is Israel, and from Israel, the Bani Israel, and son of Israel came, and his 12 son, one of the important son was Yusuf alayhi salam. He was he later he became a prophet, and he at childhood the other brother was jealous, and they sold him. They throw him in the well, and then some passerby found him, and traders they sold him, and he was transferred to Egypt. Now they're called Egypt. So he has sold them, and he has raised them, and the story of Yusuf and Zulekha, all these things. But Yusuf alayhi salam preaches the same religion whatever Ishaq alayhi salam preaching. And but today I found something from there is one late ulama. His name is Allama Lutfur Rahman, Dr. Lutfur Rahman. He said Jews are the descendant of Yahuda. So one of Yaqub's son is Yahuda. So his generations, they call them as Yehuda or Yud. Sometimes we are confused. Jews and Yehud is the same thing, but some people say Jews are the straight peoples from whatever Israel or Yaqub alayhi salam is preaching. But then Yehuda's peoples are called Yehudi, who established the Israel now. And regular Jewish people, they don't like that. They have those Israel and Palestine, they don't like it due to some reasons. Then came Yusuf alayhi salam, as I mentioned, Yusuf alayhi salam, son of Yaqub. His time was 1747 BC, and he lived 110 years. Then 13, Ayub alayhi salam, a son of Yusuf alayhi salam. His name is mentioned in Quran 4, Surah 4, 163, Surah 6, 84 ayat, Surah 21, 83 to 84, Surah 38, 41 to 44, and his time frame was 1500 BC. Ayub alayhi salam was a king, and Allah was testing him, and he lost all his wealth and family. Remember, he sent one wife, Rahima, and suffered from leprosy. And then when he started leprosy, so all his kingdom, all his thing gone. So he went he was exiled for his leprosy. And exiled, he stayed there for 7 years and 7 days and 7 hours, something they said like that. Is it right? And then at the time, Shaitan came and told him that because he was sick and only honor his wife Rahima goes to village and work and get some food for him. But sometimes Shaitan came and told him, though she did something wrong to feed you. So he was mad. He said, okay, once I will be good, then I will beat you 100 times. So there, when Allah, he passed his test, there is a dua in 67. What's the dua? Rabbahu anni masanya durru antamin. This is the dua he did. Rabbahu anni masanu durri antar rahmin. With dua, Allah accepted. Because before he didn't say, he said, Allah, you know what I am suffering. If you want, then relieve me of the suffering. So he has healed 7 years, 7 days, and 7 hours. And then when he was healed, and he wants to fulfill his vow. So Allah in Quran said, Surah 38:44, okay, if you beat her 100 times, last 100 times, there might not be she survived. So do one thing, you make 100 stick a bundle, and with one bundle you beat her, and then that will be accepted as like you fulfill your vows. So it is mentioned in 38:44. See, Allah give everything for everything. All the things you can Quran, you can see that one. Surah 38:44 say how you beat a wife. Okay. And then Shoaib alayhi salam. His name is mentioned Surah 7, 11, and 26 ayat, and in mentioned in Quran 11 times. His time period was 1600 to 1500 BC. He is Musa alayhi salam's father-in-law. And then you see, dowry was allowed that time. So dowry for a daughter was not my money. Suhaib alayhi salam told Musa alayhi salam that if you work for me as a labor for 8 years, then the dowry will be accepted. If you want, you can make it 2 more extra years. That is up to you. So Musa alayhi salam actually stayed 10 years and do the labor work for Suhaib alayhi salam to fulfill his dowry. Then Musa alayhi salam, name mentioned in Baqarah 13 and Surah 7, Baqarah in Surah Baqarah 13 times, Surah 7 21 times, and Surah 20 17 times, and Surah 20 18 times. So his name appeared in 57 surahs. Half of the total surah is, that means total surah in the Quran is 114. So half of surah's name, his name is very important, that his name appeared in 57 surahs. His time, Musa alayhi salam's time was 13th century BC, and he was known as a Kalimullah because he directly speak to Allah. No else, no 124,000 prophet, nobody could speak to Allah directly. The people who spoke to Allah, like Ibrahim alayhi salam, Prophet alayhi salam, through Jibril alayhi salam. Except one time, which I mentioned later, the Prophet alayhi salam talked to Allah when he was in Miraj directly, without the help of Jibril. But most of the time, all the prophets, not every prophets could talk to Allah, but those who talk, they talk to Jibril alayhi salam. But Musa alayhi salam, his name is Kalimullah, because he can speak directly to Allah. And he got Torah. You know the Torah, the one of the 4 books, Torah, or 10 Commandments, but the language in Hebrew. And that was he got in Mount Sinai. And then, you know, that he led his community from Egypt to land of Madian. So they went to migrate to Madian, crossing the Red Sea. And you know the story, Red Sea, the sea when he stuck with his stick. And then the Red Sea was divided and he could pass through all his companion other side. And when the Pharaoh came and his army came, they all drawn. And later, Pharaoh's body was recovered in an example for later human generations. And that mentioned in Surah 10 and 92, that I will recover your body for an example. Allah said to Pharaoh that, you know, your body will be recovered intact, and that will be an example for human generation. So that's Musa. Then Musa couldn't speak good, so he prayed to Allah that please assist with my brother Harun, so that both of us we can preach and will be more powerful when you go to Pharaoh. Pharaoh is powerful, so Musa is really scared to go to Pharaoh. So he asked Allah, you know, the whatever you say, Kala Rabbi Shrah li Sadri. I think Mamun every time you say that one, Kala Rabbi Shrah li Sadri, Wasil Yamri, Wahlul Datam Lasani, Kaukali, Wazilla Wazira min Haruni, Wakis Biadri. So Harun is my brother, please make him a Wazir. So that was the thing. So Harun name mentioned in Surah 6, 80-86 and Surah 20, 25, 26. And he was on the same time, 13th century BC. Okay. Then Zulfikar, alayhi salam, his name came in 2185 and then 38 Surah and 48 ayat. He was 6th century BC. His Zulfikar's shrine is in his cover in Iraq. Then has the Dawud alayhi salam. Dawud alayhi salam came in Surah Baqarah 251 ayat, then Surah 1755, Surah 38, 17 to 20, then Surah 38, 24, 25, then Surah Al-Imran 163, then Surah 34, 10 to 11. His time was 110 to 970 BC. The interesting thing is that he is the one who first make sword with the iron. And Allah made soft iron. Iron is hard, but Allah made a soft iron ore in the mine to help him make swords. And more interesting thing is there in Dawud is when he used to tasbih, mountain and birds used to tasbih with him. If you found this one in Surah 34, ayat 10, same ayat where Allah mentioned that he make iron soft in soft ore in the mine to help him make sword. So same ayat he mentioned that mountain the bird used to tasbih with Dawud alayhi salam. Dawud alayhi salam will be respected to recite the Quran when after day of resurrection. The first Quran Allah asked Dawud alayhi salam because his voice is melody voice. So read the Quran. Allah give the responsibility to Dawud alayhi salam. Dawud alayhi salam, the story, he was a king, but at the beginning he was like little poor boy. But at the age of 14, he joined the army of Talut. Talut was a king who goes against Jalut because Jalut was a very cruel king. So first time they don't want to take Dawood because he is still young. So but he begged, so they took him, and he did. He used to do the sling, the sling with the gulti we call the sling. He shot directly to the eyes of the king or king's main soldier. So then they lost. King lost the kingdom, as the king promised that who if somebody can defeat my soldier, then I'll give my land and I'll give married my daughter to that person. So this way, because Daud, although he was in the group of Talut, but then Talut said no, it's Daud who will get this one. So Daud got the kingdom and also married the daughter. And there are so many stories about Daud alayhi salam that he married 100 times. Some say more thing like so many married, unlimited, whatever he liked, but it's not true. But in Bible and other place you can see this one here. He has a lot of hundreds of wives, same like his son Solomon has hundreds of wives. But no, it's not true. Then came his son. Daud alayhi salam, get Jabur. He got the other book Jabur. But Jabur, the holy book, still there are some people who follow Jabur, but very few people in Middle East. Somewhere there is Jabur, but not a predominant religion. Then his son Solomon alayhi salam, Solomon alayhi salam, so many interesting stories about Solomon alayhi salam. His name is came in Surah Baqarah 102 ayat, then 21 Surah 78 to 82 ayat, then 27 Surah 15 to 44 ayat, then Surah number 34, 12 to 14 ayat, then Surah 38, 30 to 14 ayat. His time was 970 to 931 BC. He has the ability to understand and talk to any creature. Even in the ant, he could talk. So he has that. And he can command air to move from his throne from one place to other place. So Allah give him the power that he can ask air, I want to go to Bangladesh. So from USA, he can go to Bangladesh. The air will take him. So there is no aeroplane, but he has the ability to ask the air, okay, carry me there. And he also can control the genie, and genies are powerful, So he asked the jinn to build the mosque. They call Solomon Mosque in Jerusalem. And that was the mosque with some stone which is not rarely found. It said that jinn is to found these rare stones in the sea or ocean. They bring from that, and jinn is to build that. And he was watching on his stick. This famous story when You see in his picture, he is standing with his stick. So his stick, he was standing and watching the build of the mosque. But actually, he was dead. He was dead. He was died on standing on the stick, and nobody knows. If jinn knew that one, then they'll stop the work and they'll go. So he was. Allah has the mercy on him that the mosque was finished. Building mosque was finished. By the time a termite what do you call eat the stick, and he fell. Once he fell, jinn ran away. Oh, he's dead. So nobody is there. There are more other story about that in Sulaiman alayhi salam, that two angels came, Harut and Marut, came on earth to taught what we call Jadutona. So that for an experiment, for good cause, But people learned it from them and misused it mostly to create problem between spouses. That's in Quran. And it still is there, Jadutona. But this Jadutona was learned by two angels, Harut and Marut. Okay, this in Quran. And then another story is there in his time, there's a liquid copper fountain to make industrial product. So his father has a soft iron to make the sword, and Solomon found Allah gave him fountain of liquid copper to make industrial product, and it's Surah 34, Ayah 12. Then came Elias called Eliza, also named Eliza. His name came in Surah 685 ayat, Surah 37, 123 to 132 ayat. His time was 700 BC. He believed to be the progeny of Harun al-Salam, but he believed to be the progeny of Harun al-Salam. So mostly we see all the prophets came from Musa al-Salam, but one Elias came from Harun al-Salam, his brother. Then the other name came Al-Yasa, or they call Elisha. His name mentioned in Surah 686 ayat, Surah 38, 48 ayat, and his time is 892 to 1832 BCE. Some sources say the same person, Al-Khizir, the Khizir alayhi salam. So I'll talk to Khizir later, but some say that Al-Yasa was the same person, Al-Khizir. Then Yunus or Jonah, the Yunus alayhi salam, we sometimes recite Yunus, Dua Yunus alayhi salam. So that came name in Surah 10 name after him. Then Surah 10, 98, Surah 21, 87, 88 ayat, Surah 37, 139 to 40 ayat, his name mentioned. His time, 8th century BC. And that Yunus alayhi salam was responsible to some area where he couldn't control that, and then he tried to run away with the boat, with riding. Then whatever, the storm started, and they had to throw something from the boat, otherwise the boat will run. I saw sometime, in childhood in the river, there is a tornado in something we call, I don't know what they call, we call Do. The steamer runs like that. Somebody throws something, then the Do will satisfy it and the steamer will go. I see my grandmother house like that. And then when Yunus alayhi salam was thrown by the people in the boat, and he was swallowed by whale. And inside the whale, he was there for 3 days and 3 nights. That was, some people say, in Bible it says, this Isa alayhi salam was crucified, and which you don't believe, crucified and was buried, and he stayed 3 days, 3 nights, and then he came on Sunday. That's they tried to similarity between Yunus alayhi salam from belly of whale, Isa alayhi salam from the grave or tomb, he got 3 days, 3 nights. They want to relate that with Isa alayhi salam, but the Quran doesn't mention like that. Then came Zakaria alayhi salam. Zakaria salam, you have in Surah Imran, 37 to 41 ayat, then Surah 19, 2 to 15 ayat. His time was 1st century BC. He's uncle of Mother Maryam, who protect her inside the mosque. Even the mosque usually have for the man, but he was the one have a safe room inside the mosque. Zakaria is to raise Miriam. Miriam is his niece. And then his son came, Oh, Zakaria was killed by the ruling priest that time. They actually split into two. And those people, they killed, I will tell later in my footnote, that they killed a lot of prophets. Then Zachariah's son, at the age of same like Ibrahim alayhi salam, at the age is late, he is almost 100 years old or 90 years old. He has a son, Yahya. Or in the Bible is called John the Baptist. Sometimes they name, actually Dr. Lutfur Rahman says his name also called Yahya. Yahya, in Quran it says, Allah give the name. Well, I'll give a son, and his name will be Yahya. So Allah give this name Yahya directly to Zakaria. So Allah named Yahya. So Yahya was mentioned in Surah 19, 7, ayat number 7, ayat number 12 to 14, and Surah 21 to 90. His time again same, we can say 1st century BC. Then Isa alayhi salam. Isa alayhi salam, as you know in Quran, usually it mentioned as Isa ibn Maryam. Allah didn't say anytime Isa. When Allah mentioned Isa, Isa ibn Maryam, because he is the one Allah have an example that without a father, I can create a creation from a woman. This is Allah's mercy and the power. Allah's give example. Like when he created Adam, he didn't have any life. So from the earth or the soil or the mud, he created Adam alayhi salam, and from Adam alayhi salam, he created Eve or Hawa alayhi salam from his ribs, without any father or mother, without any mother, but with the father. Then Isa alayhi salam, without any father, he created from a mother, and that's why Allah always say Isa ibn Maryam. His name appeared in Surah Imran 45, ayat 45, 49, 55, and then Surah Nisa 157 to 159, 163, 171, then Surah 5, 17, 46, 72, 75, 48, 110, then Surah 6, 85, 61, 85, and then Surah 61, 6. So Isa mentions many times. His time started counting the time. It's called 1st century CE. Now no BC, now CE. He started current era. So he got the book called Injil, and we believe that he raised to heaven alive and returned to the earth before the resurrection. But people, the Christian people or Isai people, believe Isa is not son of God, is a son of God. To nullify this, they claim Quran literally Surah Ikhlas. So Surah Ikhlas you reveal, because when Isai people, the people we call Quran Christian, but actually it's Isai people, the follower of Isa. They when say Isa is a son of God, then Allah revealed revealed Surah Ikhlas in Quran. That no, Allah doesn't need a God or son. Allah is the father or son. The Surah Ikhlas. Then number 26 came Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and mentioned 4 times in name and 1 time as Muhammad. So Muhammad name came in as a name 4 times in Quran and 1 time in Ahmed. So his alternate name is Ahmed. And there is a surah, number 47, after his name. Also, Surah 3, Imran 144 ayat, 33 Surah 40 ayat, 48 Surah 29 ayat, 61 Surah 6 ayat. These are the reference of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And you know his time period is 710 to 632 after death AD or CE. And he's the final prophet of Islam with Quran. He communicated to Allah through angel Jibreel salam, except when he ascended to Miraj at the 7th heaven. So those who believe in Miraj, they said Miraj, there was no Jibreel salam, at the 7th heaven. So he talked to Allah. I know the Ayat al-Kursi, whatever we read, that was one of these conversations between the Allah and the Prophet salam and the angels there. Then 26 named Uzair, Israel in Bible. So Uzair salam came in Surah 9, 22 ayat and Surah 9, 30 ayat. And Uzair salam between times of Sulaiman salam and Zakar salam. I read Ibn Kathir, this between times of Sulaiman and Zakar salam. Jews believe son of God. So see, Christian people believe Isa salam is son of God. Jews believe Uzair salam is the son of God. And the story about Uzair salam, that he was slept, or somebody said, dead for 100 years. And he revived after 100 years. He was alive. You can see in Surah Baqarah 259 ayat, you see Uzair salam was slept for 100 years and after 100 years awake. So not only that thing about this who are that in Surah the peoples in the cave, so they also sleep for how many years nobody knows. And then how many people, somebody said 3 plus 1 dog, 5 plus 1 dog, 7 plus 1 dog, like this, all this controversy there. Then 28 Shambil or Shamil, on Bible they call Samuel, in Baqarah 247 ayat. After 300 years of Musa alayhi salam, he is the one who I was telling about Talut the king. He anointed King Talut. Samuel alayhi salam appointed when this community said, we need a king to fight Jalut. Then Samuel, he anointed king, one of the 4 people from the community, Talut. And Talut became the king and fight against Jalut. And you know the story about Jalut, that when Talut was fighting, Dawud alayhi salam was the one who killed Jalut. Then these two are mentioned. These are not prophet, but very mentioned in Quran. There is a people called Luqman, and there's a surah, Luqman, 31 surah, Luqman. Luqman is a wise man, and he used to, whatever advise his son, Allah liked the one, and Allah included in his Luqman surah his thing. And his time was 10th century BC. He was mentioned in the Quran as a wise man, but he was not a prophet. It's clearly said he's not a prophet. Then Al-Khizir, this is the one in who was associated with Musa alayhi salam. Musa alayhi salam was claiming that I'm the wisest man. And then Allah said, no, there is another wise man. So he's more wise than you. Then Musa alayhi salam wanted to know, who is that? Then Allah tell him to go that place to get him. You see the Surah 18, ayat 62, 82. You'll see that as Musa alayhi salam meet Khizir alayhi salam, and how this Khizir alayhi salam did show him to Muzaza or Hikmah, that when they're crossing the river, they make a hole to make a hole in the boat, to sink the boat, to save the boat. Then he killed a boy when going, and then Musa alayhi salam, oh, why you kill a boy? then the story like that. Then he built, there was a fallen wall, he raised the wall, all this thing, the story in there. So you can get in Surah 18, 60 to 80 ayat is there. So he is mentioned in the Quran as a wine man, but not the prophet. But meat from my mother, she said, Musa, that Al-Khizr is still alive and take of the people while drowning in the river and the sea. The Khizr alayhi help them. It's my mother, from my mother camp. So now I have, in the end, I have put in reference. So the reference I use this Quran, which I read is Sahih Rahmani Bunganuwat Quran Sharif. It's published by Hamida Library. And I don't know, they didn't mention the date, a year of printing. And then meat, of course, I say meat is from my mother because she was my first teacher for all subjects in the childhood. Mom used to do all things. And then about the time frame, I said all are approximately most information taken from Bible. And there is important thing I want to tell. We always know that say 124,000 prophets whose name not mentioned in the Quran. Sometimes we say, how many, this many prophets? You can, if you understand this, Bani Israel killed one day 43 prophets and 102 Abed. And Surah Imran, 22, 21, you see this one, they kill one day 43 prophets. So Bani Israel, all Yahudi, they kill 43 prophets one day. That means so many prophets. Prophets is to come, maybe many communities, small community the prophets. So there could be 124 prophets. That means these days prophets are sent for each tribe or community. And there is one other thing I want to mention. The two words, Nabi and Rasul. Nabi and Rasul are all prophets. Rasul are sent with a specific text, task with wazif or books, like Ibrahim salam, all other Musa, or all are Rasul. But the Nabi, like Lut Nabi, but he was not Rasul. So all Nabi Rasul are prophet. He is a prophet, but not Rasul. There's a difference between Nabi and Rasul. Rasul are the one who has given with a specific task, sometimes Uzifa, like Ibrahim or the father of nation, he had Uzifa, small books. And then main 4 books, that Injil, Jabur, Taurat, Quran. So this is the thing. And then I want to mention about Jews. Jews killed Zachariah by splitting into half, blaming that he has motives to grab the power in the disguise as a priest. They killed 50,000 Navis, starting from Zachariah to Yahya, means his son Yahya. Allah sent a Jalim king, Bakht Nasir, if you remember this one story, Bakht Nasir, to punish the Jews who killed a huge number of Jews. Is according to Dr. Allah Lutfur Rahman Rahimahullah, he passed away 2 years ago, I think. So this is the thing I compiled from story from the Quran and some other, lecture from different ulama karim. So that's what I'm to tell you. If you have some question, you can ask me.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Thank you so much, Brother Anwar. I believe this is, again, I tell all the time that when somebody do some research and create something, even though they complete in half an hour or 40 minutes, but it takes a lot of time. But Alhamdulillah, all of your reference has the Quranic verse number and everything. I think this document will help a lot of people. But I would like to go to our young generation first, because it's very important. Because one thing we need to remember next time when we prepare something, we need to try to make it as precise as possible so we can remember. Because sometimes when it is too lengthy, we tend to forget what is exactly happened. But
no, I can send it to everybody. This table, I can send everybody.
Yeah, but
I send to you.
Inshallah. But within this, whatever you discuss, the one powerful thing is Musa alayhi salam. And there are a
Yes.
lot of things can be learned from Musa alayhi salam's lifestyle, that how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make him the prince and then downhill his life. And you can relate when we are in test. So he was in the highest level of test in his life. And when we have time, we can have a separate session just only for Musa alayhi salam, inshallah. And our young generation especially will be able to learn. Or maybe what I can do, I can help one of these young generation, either Tasin, Shayan, or Mahir. One of them can do some research and present something about Musa alayhi salam life. So this is an excellent life, so that we can relate to our hardship and then see that if Allah can bring him from here to here and there to there, inshallah, that anything happen in our life as a test, inshallah, Allah is the one who will be able to help us. I will come to Tasin, Shayan, and anyone from our young generation, that if you have any question on these topics. All right, seems like they don't have any question. Let's go to our sisters. Any sister has any question, comments? All right, let's go to brothers. Brother, do you have any question or comments? Yes, Muslim bhai, go ahead.
So thank you, Anwar. It was very good. As Mamun said, that it's a lot of work to do to find all these details consistently. I have a couple of comments. Okay. One thing is that the genealogy, the who came after who, etc.
Yes.
There is a book. This is the first life story of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You can see that. Mm-hmm. This is written by Sirat. It's called Sirat Rasulullah. Written by Ibn Ishaq. That's the earliest textbook, earliest book about the life of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Mm-hmm. So in there, in fact, page 1, 2, 3, etc., they gave a full genealogy, from Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to Ibrahim and everybody's father. So you can maybe get the help from there. You can collect the names there from here, and then look for Quran presence, for them. Yeah, so that's my one comment. And the second comment is that oh my God, so are you showing something different now?
No, I think Ikram bhai is showing something.
Okay, so the other thing is that so this discussion could be very valuable to us, especially when we go to the multi-faith discussion. Imam Chebli goes there, and I often go there also. If we can show the connection between us and the Abrahamic religions and yes. The offspring, Ishmaelites, and what you call Jacob, Jacob's religion, which is basically Jewish religion right now. If we can see the connection, that is a good thing that we can do in the interfaith, in the meetings. And we can help Imam Chebli also with that. In fact, he goes to the interfaith meetings. So that's my major comment. And if you want, I can give the reference to the book called Sirat Rasulullah.
Please do me a favor, Muslim bhai, if you can send me, and I will post it to the group, the name or the link of the Amazon. So I can just post the link of the Amazon. So if anybody wants to buy it, this is a good collection to have it at home.
It's not an easy book to read. So yeah. Oh my God, this is the earliest life.
Mustafa, my thing is that I, from my childhood, I always read, the Aliullah's life story, and I have, in a school competition and all this thing, always I win the first from school life. So always in very poor library, I used to read all these things. So I have some book on Muhammad Sallallahu written by Sayyid Ali Hassan. Sayyid Ali Hassan, Professor Sayyid Hassan. So that I have it, and I have a couple of books present to me by my daughter as a textbook in Rutgers University, and then some other Egyptian people. They had a couple of, but that one you show me, I don't have that, but I have several other things.
What is the caption, Muslim bhai, the one you just showed?
The life of Muhammad, a translation of Ibn Ishaq's Sirat Rasulullah.
Okay.
Okay.
So that is the earliest book, and most of the other authors, where can they find the original source? Original source is this book.
Okay.
And so if you notice, the books that you read, and I'm sure that they will refer to this book because this is the earliest. This was done even before Hadith.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
about
Muslim, do you
100
have
years.
the date when it was first published? Just approximate years.
First published, it was first written by Ibn Ishaq, and he lived around less than 100 years after the death of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
Oh, okay.
And this is this okay.
I think this we will send the link. I think I found it in Amazon. I have the ISBN number and everything handy. It's called The Life of Muhammad, and a translation of Ibn Ishaq's Sirat Rasulullah, a Guilium. So this is $67.
Professor William, but his name is pronounced as Dium, believe it or not.
Yeah. Anyway, but this is good. This is a good collection. Everybody should have it. So I found it.
Send us this link.
Inshallah, I will do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's in the Amazon.
Amazon.
The thing is, another thing is, this book has most of the surahs when they came, and they gave the environment, why it came, what's the environment it came. That is very, very informative for us to know. If we know, why a particular surah was there, it's so very useful to know the context of it.
Yeah,
So,
and
okay,
also yesterday, believe it or not, I don't know if it is a coincidence or not, I was watching two things all day long. One thing is the story of Moses. Another thing is the messages. I mean the Muhammad, the life of Muhammad. So unbelievably, this is today. You guys are talking the same thing. So it is all raw. So when I was watching this Netflix thing, Moses, and this is so beautiful because prior to this, I was in a Friday prayers, and the Imam at Princeton Mosque, he was giving a khutbah on Moses because he just recently came back from Egypt, and he said he walked 12 hours to go to the top of the mountain where literally Musa alayhi salam talked to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So his feeling was so raw, and when he was giving this khutbah, it touched my heart. As soon as I came in, I was watching Moses, even though I saw it before, and then I can relate so quickly, and it's all in my head. So that's why when you are talking today, Alhamdulillah, it's amazing experience.
So many things to
one other point I wanted to make. One other point is that when we can present this to the Jewish community, for instance, and show that connection between us and them, basically. So, and that we want to, and the facts are on our side. When I say facts are on our side, there is a lot of conspiracy these days going on in the Christian community, evangelist Christian, which is related to the Middle East, and they're all false. I repeat, they're all false. And recently, you might see in an interview of the what is this guy's name?
Yeah, it was supplementary. Yeah.
No. The Tucker Carlson has an interview with our Marco Rubio, our state. Anybody has seen that?
Yeah, I saw that. And he was.
Did you see how people like Marco Rubio? He did not know, but this is a fake thing that they're building the whole thing in Palestine, entirely fake. And I'm writing an article on that, and I'm almost 90% done on this article. And I'm also showing that, and I have some Jewish friends, who are going to help me with this, and they're going to review my article. This is such a fake thing going on. And so whatever you wrote, if we can do show the side by side with, this is consistent with the Bible, what you are writing, and then you can share it with the in the interfaith meeting, and then they will see that, oh, this is true, and we have been wrong all this time about the Middle Eastern
Muslim, I have
theology.
one thing to say, Muslim. So when I came in this country, I was a research project at NGIT. I was doing a research on defense technology. My expertise on defense technology. So there is a Professor Israel Dor. Name is Professor Israel Dor. He's from the Israel general. He was a general, and they have American citizenship. Their son is there. So first of all, he want to see my thesis from when I was in England. I had a thesis, a master's thesis on technology management. So I went to see them, and he saw my name, Mir Muhammad Anwar Hussain. So all the thing, he has a question after that. He said, "Oh, I have one question. What does MD means? Because we write MD, not Muhammad, right? MD. Mm-hmm. So this is a question." So I said, "Okay, this is Muhammad." Immediately I saw his face. I'm talking 1990. So he's done something. Then I said, "Oh, what is your belief?" He said, a Jew. "Oh, you are follower of Moses? Moses is your prophet?" No. No, Moses is not prophet? No. So those Jews, they don't believe Moses as their prophet. I don't know who's the belief. We all thought Torah is the book, and no, they don't believe. So now they claim Ibrahim alayhi salam is their prophet. Ibrahim is prophet for everybody. But no, they think that they go back to there. Actually, their name is Bani Israel. It came from Yaqub alayhi salam. But they are claiming like that. So they're all, messed up. They don't have a correct belief, correct knowledge of their own religion. And that's what they're doing. They're grabbing lands and they're spreading what is spread.
Yeah, I saw that Billah Bhai raised hand.
Okay, Billah.
Billah Bhai, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mamun. Anwar Bhai,
yeah,
it was really good. I think you did so much research, and it was, I think it took a lot of time. And as you were saying, you are from childhood, you have had that interest, and your mother helped you out. So that's fantastic. Yes. I just wanted to say, probably the question is, you said about 124,000 prophets.
Yeah.
That is not in the Quran. I'm probably pretty sure it came from Hadith. So what is the evidence supporting that kind of a claim?
Okay. Now, Quran, when in Quran you say, I wrote here that what I wrote here, Jews killed Zakaria alayhi salam, and they killed, that's in, this is, one ulama, his name is Dr. Allama Lutfur Rahman. He just, I think 2 years before he died, he got this thing that the Jews killed 50,000 Nabis. So if 50,000 Nabis killed by the Jewish, then another 125,000 men, another 75,000 should be there in other areas from Adam alayhi some other time. So Quran doesn't say
they're all from Middle East. All of these right. prophets are from that area.
From that area, okay, of course. Okay, there's one prophet.
No.
There's one. This one, I got this one from somewhere. This second, Shish alayhi salam. Shish alayhi salam was his grave in UP in India. His grave is there. People.
No. It is in Afghanistan. Mir Bhai. Shish alayhi salam কবরটা আফগানিস্তানে আছে yes
so somebody is there I think one of his Adam alayhi salam cover is in UP in India.
So what is the veracity of all of this information? Somebody 3,000 years BC, how do they come up with that information? How do they know this?
I don't know. That was my question too. But if you see Bible has all this thing. I don't know.
So
if you,
in this situation, I think when there is a confusion, I will say Anwar Bhai is absolutely right. There is a 25 prophets' name have been mentioned in the Quran, and 124,000 that's come from Hadith. And out of 124,000, I believe that there is a reference somewhere that 319 are the messengers. So I think we should stick with 25 for now, instead of going too deep and arguing on 125,000, 4,000. And then inshallah, we see if we can find more reference,
And
or
also
maybe
their life, also they're living like 900 years and 1,000
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
but
And
Mamun,
Yeah.
Let's stick to the number first.
no,
So
number,
the number of, okay, before you
not
do that,
25.
okay,
No,
hold
I
on a second.
don't take it 25.
Let me finish.
I take Uzair and Uzair because it's in Quran. So I take Uzair and Samuel. This 28, I will take 28.
Yeah,
and
but
the two others.
Let me define the terms first.
Okay.
As you mentioned, one is Rasul
Another Nabi.
and the other is Nabi.
Yes, but all are
Rasul
prophets.
is,
All
okay,
are
you
prophets.
can call them prophet, but prophet is a very confusing term. Nabi and Rasul is straightforward.
Okay.
Nabi is somebody who has been inspired by Allah to share the information to the people.
That's Rasul. That's Rasul.
And Rasul is,
yeah.
I'm going to finish করতে দেন না।
আচ্ছা,
ঠিক আছে? Okay. Rasul is who gave messages to Allah, new message to Allah, and the what do you call the Nabi are who can interpret the law of Allah. They are not getting anything new.
Yeah.
They are getting anything new from Allah, but whatever Allah gave them, they interpret it in their way. So that's one of the reasons that you have heard of the religion that started in India called the Qadiani or we call Ahmadi. That is the basis of their vision. That we are not giving anything new, but we are interpreting it. And so many 2,100 1,24,000 or 26,000 or 2,24,000, those are the people who interpreted whatever Allah has given them before. So that is the distinction between Rasul and the Nabi. So the Nabis, the number of Nabi is that high number, the 1,24,000 or 2 lakh.
Right.
So and that should cover that we don't know. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
And that should be covered, all the history, all the geography, and everything. So therefore, so that is and that is the standard understanding that I have. So there's no confusion here.
No, correct.
Number of Rasul is fixed. We know who they are. Number of Nabi, we do not know. There are 126,000 or 226,000. We don't know their names.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying.
Mamun bhai, we have Bangladesh Imam here, so we can hear from him about this subject a little bit, so that will
that'd be good. That'd be good.
I think why not, brother Ikram, you tell him in a jest that what we were discussing. Then if he wants to say something, inshallah, tell him in Bengali. Assalamu alaikum, Imamul Hasan from Bangladesh. And one good news I want to share with all of you about him. One of his children, they basically appeared for SSC exam, and his children has passed with the A+, golden GPA, alhamdulillah. So make dua for
his daughter.
Right.
He has one daughter. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Imam Sahib, আপনি তো আছেন, আপনি একটু আমাদের একটু বলবেন একটা বিষয়। এখানে আসলে আমাদের মীর ভাই উনি আজকে একটা বিরাট অনেক লম্বা একটা বায়ান দিয়েছেন, একটা প্রেজেন্টেশন করেছেন ওই আমাদের নবীদের সম্বন্ধে, নবী এবং রাসূল সম্বন্ধে। তো উনি বলেছেন 25 জন নবীর কথা উল্লেখ আছে। যাই হোক, ওইটা প্রশ্ন হলো এখানে নবী আর রাসূলের মধ্যে পার্থক্যটা একটু আমরা জানি যদিও, তবু আপনি যদি একটু খোলাসা করে বলেন। আর আরেকটা ব্যাপার হলো আমরা প্রায় শুনি 1,24,000 পয়গম্বর দুনিয়াতে এসেছিল, তো এইটা কতটুকু সত্যি এবং এটার ভিত্তি কি, এই সম্বন্ধে আপনি যদি এই দুটো বিষয় একটু আলোচনা করেন আমরা খুশি হব।
আচ্ছা, আমরা শুনেছি 1,24,000 অথবা 2,24,000, দুটোই শুনেছি।
জি,
Yeah, true. Yeah.
ওকে,
আছেন ইমামুল হাসান সাহেব?
হ্যাঁ উনি তো আছেন, ওনার ইয়ে তো মিউটও না, আনমিউট করা আছে।
উনি
বোধহয় শোনেন নাই মনে হয়।
আনমিউটে
উনি
আছেন তো, কিন্তু কথা বলছেন না তো।
তো
ইমাম সাহেব
ওকে ফোন করা যায়, ওকে ফোন করা যায়, ওকে ফোন করা
হ্যাঁ
যায়।
ফোন করা যায়,
উনি
আমি
হয়তো
চেষ্টা করছি।
ফোনটা অন করে অন্য কোথাও আছে, হয়তো এটা হতে পারে।
না না, ফোন করলে বোঝা যাবে, ফোন করলে বোঝা যাবে। আচ্ছা, তুমি ফোন করে দেখো তো।
আমি
আচ্ছা
ফোন করছি।
মামুন, তুমি বলছিলেন রসুল 391, there are
The
391।
messengers, yeah, 319.
এই নাম্বার আমি কোত্থেকে পাইলা?
এটা ইসের থেকে পেয়েছি আমি, কি বলে আপনার, হাদিদ।
হাদিস।
124,000 prophet, 315 messengers, sorry.
এবং নাম
না, মেসেঞ্জার বলতে কি মিন করে? রাসূল মিন করে না কি মেসেঞ্জার?
মানে যারা,
রাসূল
হ্যাঁ রাসূল, হ্যাঁ।
রাসূল যে আমরা যে বললাম সেটা যাদের কাছে কিতাব এসছে, যাদের কাছে নতুন মেসেজ
বাট
এসছে
এই জন্য আমি
আল্লাহর
এটা
দিকে।
এই নাম্বারের উপরে ভিত করতে চাচ্ছি না, এই জন্য যে that's why I told at the initially যে 25 যেটা কোরআনের রেফারেন্স এসছে, I want to stick with that for now, and let's see if our Bangladeshi Imam can say something.
এবং রাসূল according to the Quran to only four Rasuls according to Quran, I guess.
4 or 5, oh 4 maybe,
Four.
4.
হ্যাঁ
তাওরাত,
মানে অ্যাকচুয়ালি সবাইকে পূর্ণ কিতাব দেওয়া হয় নাই, মানে কোরআনে যেটা বলা হয়েছে যে পূর্ণ কিতাবে জবর, তওরাত, জবর, ইনজিল আর কোরআন, এটা হলো
yeah,
মানে কমপ্লিট বুক। in addition to that, they were prophets, they were being given part of this some scriptures, I would say. এইটা
আচ্ছা, ইব্রাহিম আলাইহিস সালামের কাছে এটা এসছে, ওইটা মৌখিক, ওইটার লিখিত কিছু নেই মনে হয়।
লিখিত তখন অত ডেভেলপ হয় নাই। হ্যাঁ মৌখিক
হ্যাঁ।
আসুক বা যেভাবে আসুক, মানে কমপ্লিট না, কিছু কিছু স্পোরাডিক্যালি আসছে আর কি, পিস বাই পিস কিছু আসছে, কিন্তু
মানে
কমপ্লিট
ইব্রাহিম আলাইহিস সালাম is a Rasul in that case according to the definition.
ইব্রাহিম আলাইহিস সালাম is in that definition, yes.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Oh, that makes sense then. That makes sense then. Then in that case, maybe Sulaiman alayhi salam, Daud alayhi salam, all of those are Rasuls as well because they did get.
আমার মনে হয় না ইমামুল হাসান is available here. He probably
anyway,
try to call him.
ঠিক আছে ইনশাআল্লাহ। আমার মনে হয় আমাদের 11:30, and let's if needed, inshallah we can speak on these topics when Imam Chebli is also here. We can touch base, but I would like to thank Brother Anwar. So I know Brother Anwar make a dua for today, although you gave a khutbah, inshallah, and then we finish it up.
Well done,
inshallah.
very well done, very well done, very well
Yes,
done.
yeah. Go ahead, Brother
Thank you,
Anwar.
Imid bhai.
lot of work went behind.
Yeah.
Lot of work.
MashaAllah.
We learned a lot. Thank you.
من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
آمين.
ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا تقبل منا أنفسنا إن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. ربي زدني علمنا القاف والقاف وعبد أمر الله إن الله بصير بالعباد. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل. رب هو أني مسان در أنت أمين رب أني مسان رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. اللهم اغفر لي ولوالدي ولمن تولدنا ولا تسلم إنك مجيب الدعوات برحمتك ربنا لا إله إلا أنت.
আল্লাহুম্মা আমিন।
হ্যাঁ আনোয়ার ভাই, আপনার তো অনেক Yeah, it was so good. আপনি এত রিসার্চ
না আমি
করেছেন।
ওই মনে করলাম যে এটা করবো, আর একটা দিন আমি আর একটা চেষ্টা করছি, মানে এখনো